Hey everyone, now that we're home from Star Wars Celebration, I'm continuing my look back at some of the announcements and trailers that were released, playing a little catch up, and today I'm doing a breakdown for the Star Wars Jedi Survivor final gameplay trailer. A quick reminder that I have played a bit of the game. If you want to see my hands-on impressions, I'll link to that video in the cards. I do know some story details, but I'm not going to be getting into spoilers of any kind. What I can say is that despite playing Survivor for about 3 hours, this latest trailer still revealed some gameplay elements that I have yet to experience. This game is so dense compared to Fallen Order, which I already thought was amazing. The trailer also shows me some potential story beats that I definitely did not get to experience, so I'll still be speculating a bit. The entire demo took place on the planet Kobo, so I have no idea what's going on off that world. For example, I don't know what planet the trailer starts on. Very orange and windy and dusty. In one of the earlier trailers, we saw this location, and I guessed it could be Korriban or Moraband, or whichever name you prefer, an ancient Sith world that appeared in Knights of the Old Republic and the Clone Wars. Several times throughout the trailer, we can see Cal walking near or through some old ruins, which I am so psyched for. I loved exploring the Zeffo ruins in the first game, so the more like Indiana Jones we can make this, the better as far as I'm concerned. It's hard to tell if these ruins are Jedi or Sith or what, but you can see some statues holding lightsabers. They look more like Jedi to me, but I think the more orange, windy planet is different from the clear-skied one. Maybe we explore Jedi ruins on one world and Sith ruins on another. My fingers are firmly crossed for Korriban. We get to see Cere a bit more in this trailer, which is good. She wasn't in the last story trailer that much. She talks to Cal in a cave, saying he was only a child when he was sent off to war, which is messed up. The book Brotherhood explores the fact that Chancellor Palpatine mandated Padawans take part in the fighting because who knew how long the Clone Wars would last? They needed to make sure the next generation was ready to serve. But obviously, that would be very traumatic for those young Jedi, even without Order 66. Cal and Jaro Tapal even briefly appear in that book. The first game dug into Cal's trauma surrounding the death of his master, and I thought it was a great part of that story. So I'm weirdly glad to hear that Survivor might continue to do that. Cere's line might suggest he could hold some resentment for the Jedi, sending him off to be a warrior as a child. We see a quick flash of Cal fighting 6 scout troopers on what I assume is Coruscant. I like to think they were out enjoying the nightlife together, and then a Jedi just dropped in out of nowhere and ruined their day. But yeah, game director Stig Asmussen confirmed that Coruscant is a fully playable and explorable world in this game, and we'll talk more about that in a little bit. BD scanning a creature on Kobo is a cutscene we saw in the demo. I loved the reveal. He's got a little rocket now. That got cheers at Star Wars Celebration, where they revealed the trailer on the Star Wars Show live stage. I don't know for sure, but I assume there will be more upgrades for BD-1 throughout the game. There are definitely a ton of new cosmetics and looks for our little best friend. I'm not sure which planet this is on, but I did want to point out the stormtrooper that gets his leg cut off by Cal. We've already seen that in previous footage, but yes, dismemberment is in this game. It's something gaming fans wanted after the first game, and I think they struck a good balance of it happening frequently enough without feeling completely sadistic. I remember the first time I cut off a stormtrooper's arm way back in Dark Forces 2. Good times. On another rocky planet, Cal looks at a hologram. I can't make out who it is, but it kinda looks like Merrin with her new haircut. I have no clue. I do kinda think the planet is Kobo, but I'm not positive. But next we have the little speeder bike sequence, and this was probably the moment that got me the most hyped in this new trailer. We didn't experience anything like this in the demo, but I love this kind of thing. Fallen Order had a couple unique set pieces to help break up the standard gameplay, like when you have to slide around on Kashyyyk to evade the Ninth Sister, a great and surprising moment, but I wished there were more. The Uncharted games have a bunch of really cool cinematic action moments where you have to escape a building as it crumbles around you, or you jump from a jeep to a plane and then you have to climb up a cargo net, or you're jumping from a truck to a horse and back to a truck to make your way up a caravan. This speeder bike sequence reminds me of that. You can see Cal's friend Bode riding ahead, but the highlight is when Cal launches the trooper up into a TIE fighter. We can also see this sequence is on the same planet we saw before with those ruins. Back to Coruscant, we see the Imperial Palace in probably its most prominent appearance. I love this. I'm sure there are a ton of fans out there who don't know that Palpatine took the Jedi Temple and converted it into his new palace to add insult to injury. And we haven't seen it very often, yet now it looks like Cal might be flying right up to its doorstep. That is insane, Cal. It reminds me of The Force Unleashed, where Galen Marek can explore the ruins of the temple because it wasn't converted in Legends, it was just left to decay. It'll be so interesting to even let Cal see it, because it can tie into his struggles with his past. Cere's voiceover continues, saying, "I cannot tell you who you must become or where the line is drawn. There are no easy choices. I would really love it if this game dug into the inherent and admittedly fun violence of video games and how that sometimes bumps up against Jedi philosophy. We can see Merrin, Bode, and Grease all in the Mantis together. We didn't reach Merrin in the demo, but I like the idea that we could be building up the crew as the game goes on. Maybe on each mission that allows it, we will be able to choose which character we want to go with us. I'm gonna jump ahead to the buddy combat system, where we see Cal fighting alongside Merrin and Bode. That's something we didn't get to play, but I think it looks great. I love those little moments in Fallen Order where Merrin helps you fight Malicos. It looks like Survivor will take that idea and dial it up to 11, but I doubt you'll get to choose which ally goes with you on which mission. That's probably predetermined, and I say that because of that shot of Cal and Merrin using the Force and magic together, which is awesome. They're either fighting or building something. I'm not sure. It looks cool, but my point is, Bode would not be able to do that with Cal. The Rancor fight is shown, which is something I did get to do in the demo. That's not part of the main story, it's an optional rumor someone on Kobo will tell you about, and if you investigate, the Rancor is your reward. You get a hard boss fight. It's really cool, and you can see your actual reward behind the creature once you defeat it. Back on the dusty orange planet, Cal fights an AT-ST and does this sick sideways flip over blaster bolts. That looks awesome. And then he jumps on top and uses the Force to fling the pilot out of the cockpit. I love that. Most of our demo was spent exploring, and we certainly got to experience plenty of combat, but not much in the way of, I guess I would call this like a mini boss fight. But seeing these animations and the various ways Cal can engage with combat now is great. Speaking of boss fights, the trailer shows the Gendai character named Ravis. We did meet him during the demo, but thankfully we have yet to fight him. On stage, Stig described him as a wrecking ball. The fact that he's a Gendai means he will be very difficult to kill, but you can see some shots where Cal has knocked off his armor to reveal the tendrils that make up his body. There's some combat against two droidicas on what appears to be a Lucrehulk Trade Federation capital ship. Cal fights against them with the crossguard variant of his lightsaber, which is said to act more like a claymore. It's slower, but deals out more damage. We only had the single blade, the double blade, and the dual bladed stances available to us, so I'm excited to try the crossguard and the lightsaber blaster combo. There's a quick shot of Cal riding on one of the animals of Kobo, which we have seen before in previous trailers, but I love that as a new way to unlock areas through nature rather than unlocking more and more force powers. The controller only has so many buttons on it. There's a glimpse of Cal fighting someone else with a double-bladed lightsaber, and I have no idea what that's about. Previous trailers showed him battling a lightsaber-wielding foe in a mask. I've got nothing on this, no clue who they might be. And finally, I will mention the Jedi character from the Bacta tank as well as the droid seen a couple of times. I know a bit about those characters and can no longer speculate on them, so I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. But the game is only 2 weeks away, you'll find out about them soon enough. But that's it for this trailer, the last one before Star Wars Jedi Survivor comes out, which again is soon, and I can't wait to step into Cal's shoes once more. I'll remind you that if you want my full impressions on the game's demo, you can watch it in the cards. When the game releases, you can expect me to stream it quite a bit. I'll probably play through just the story for myself so I can do a base review on that, but then I'll go back and try to stream a full Jedi Grandmaster playthrough to try to 100% the game, which I think will take a long time. Until then, please like this video, subscribe to the channel to keep up with all our Survivor coverage, follow us on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.